Καλώς ήρθατε. Καταρχήν, μία ερώτηση προς εσάς. Επειδή έχουμε ομιλητές που θα μιλήσουν στα αγγλικά, χρειάζεστε μετάφραση ή να γίνει κατευθείαν στα αγγλικά χωρίς μετάφραση στα ελληνικά? Αν δεν υπάρχει αντίρρηση, τότε θα μιλήσουν απευθείας στα αγγλικά χωρίς μετάφραση. Η συνέντευξη τύπου αυτή γίνεται με αφορμή το Παγκόσμιο Συνέδριο της IFRRO. Η IFRRO είναι η Διεθνής Ένωση Οργανισμών Συλλογικής Διαχείρισης από το χώρο του βιβλίου, δηλαδή συγγραφέων και εκδοτών. Στην πραγματικότητα δεν πρόκειται ακριβώς για συνέδριο, γιατί είναι ταυτόχρονα και η Γενική Συνέλευση της IFRRO. Περισσότεροι από 200 μέλη οργανισμών συλλογικής διαχείρισης έρχονται από όλο τον κόσμο, από πάρα πολλές χώρες, από την Ασία, την Αμερική, την Αφρική και βεβαίως Ευρώπη, για αυτό το συνέδριο. Και έχουμε τη χαρά να είναι μαζί μας εδώ στη συνέντευξη τύπου και εκπρόσωποι από αυτούς τους οργανισμούς, αλλά και από την IFRRO, ο πρόεδρος, ο κ. Reiner Just, ο οποίος θα μας μιλήσει καταρχήν για το ρόλο των οργανισμών συλλογικής διαχείρισης και για ποιο λόγο αφορούν την κοινωνία οι οργανισμοί συλλογικής διαχείρισης. Mr. Reiner, so you can start. I introduced you, and please, we would like to hear from you some words about the role of the RROs and why matters for society is the operation of the RROs.
Yes, my name is Reiner Just. I'm the president of the International Federation of RROs since 2012. And I'm also the chief executive officer of the German reproduction right organization named Vici-Wort. And I can tell you that I think that RROs, collective management organizations, are a very important part of the structure, of the copyright structure of every country today. Together with the digital world, you are only able to enforce your rights when you also offer easy possibilities how to license usages of copyright. On the other hand, copyright is very important. For example, when you think to Greece, you have a big part of your economic is based on tourism, for example. If there's no copyright, it is not possible to have a book industry or text industry or picture industry which is able to monetize your culture, if you like. Yes, your culture is Acropolis, your history, your landscape, the sea, everything. And copyright is an important condition to monetize all these assets and values your country have. So a collective management organization, reproduction rights organization is an important part of the structure to have a copyright industry. So this is in short what I would say why RROs today are even more necessary than in the past.
Thank you. Maybe. Thank you. Yes, maybe in the course of the discussion, whenever you feel you can participate as well. Caroline Morgan is the executive secretary of IFRRO. I think if you could say some words about the role of IFRRO and about the Congress.
Thanks, George. And hello, everyone. I'm the Chief Executive at IFRRO, and let me just tell you a few facts about our organisation. You can probably tell from my accent that I'm from Australia. It's really important to stress that IFRRO is a global organisation. We have a lot of members in Europe, but we represent collective management organisations in more than 85 countries around the world. And we have 150 members, 100 of whom are RROs, as Reiner has mentioned. Those organisations together collect around €1 billion a year. And the objective of collecting that money is simply not to have a large round number, but it is for those organisations to redistribute the money that is collected to authors and publishers in their countries. And that source of income from the collective management organisation becomes an important source of income for individual authors, and also it supports publishing programs for publishers. For individual authors, it can be pretty tough in the current environment to make your living, and you need it to diversify your income streams. For journalists, for individual book authors, a steady stream of income from the collective management organisation can make a difference as to whether they continue to write and contribute to the cultural life of their country. That's why the work that the CMOs, the RROs that are members of IFRRO do is so important. And the reason I stress that it's a global industry is that there are collective management organisations all around the world in countries at different stages of economic development, and they operate in different ways. But the one thing that is common to all of them is that the money they collect and from the secondary use of copyright material is extremely important to authors and publishers. And as Reiner said, is an important part of ensuring that you have a vibrant copyright industry that enables you to be able to communicate your culture to the world.
Okay, and maybe now Tracey could, tomorrow there is a very interesting international conference with the sexy title, would say, Connecting the Dots, Future of Collective Management. Could you describe a little bit more about the issues that are going to be discussed?
Did you just call it a sexy title? That's pretty funny. So thank you. I'm Tracey Armstrong. I'm from the United States, actually right outside of Boston. I'm CEO of one of the member organizations of IFRRO that's called Copyright Clearance Center. And also at that organization is a partner of OSDEL's as well. As part of the program of the World Congress that IFRRO holds every year, and we have, and here, of course, in Athens this week, we have hundreds of people from dozens of countries here in Athens that will be participating in a variety of different meetings, and ranging from committee meetings to the annual general meeting. Tomorrow, we have a conference which is open. It's actually open to the media. It's open to other participants, where we have brought together 3 different and very interesting tracks of discussion that are all linked to copyright. And the first of those, so the theme is, as George mentioned, connecting the dots, the future of the collective management of rights. And the first of these tracks, well, at the very beginning, actually, we are very honored to have with us Sylvie Forban from WIPO, that's the World Intellectual Property Organization in Geneva, where the intergovernmental treaties and other instruments are administered, managed, etc. And Sylvie is responsible for collective management at the World Intellectual Property Organization. So we're very honored to have her here from Geneva. And she will give the opening remarks on collective management in the 21st century. Then our first of our 3 tracks will be on technology. And I'm thrilled to have one of the chief engineers from the ATC, you'll probably know it, the Athens Technology Center. I am going to embarrass myself trying to pronounce his last name, but his first name is Joannos. Thank you. And even Stratos has been very patient with me on our preparatory calls. He is a fantastically forward-thinking technology engineer who has been doing a lot of work with Deutsche Welle. ATC does a lot of work with Deutsche Welle, and has also been doing a lot of work on the Blumen project, which is an EU-funded project related to blockchain. Now, blockchain is an extremely interesting open technology, a distributed ledger mechanism that does hold promise for the future of licensing. And it's he will actually be showing us some examples in his talk tomorrow. We also have a gentleman, Matthias Roeder, coming from Austria, from the Karajan Institute. He's a PhD in musicology from Harvard University. He's also studied in Salzburg, and will be talking to us also about the use of machine learning and artificial intelligence with regard to music, music licensing, the distribution of music, and also science. So he's going to have two tracks in his talk, music and science. So that's our technology talk at the beginning of the day. In the middle of the day, we have a whole track on education and education technology. Licensing for academic purposes is extremely important. A tremendous amount of copyrighted materials are produced by academics. These are very, very important. Some of our top learning institutions, educational institutions in the world, have some of the world's best researchers, including here in Greece, producing extremely important material that is part of the country's research output and the gross domestic product, ultimately, of the country. And we will have a talk, several talks here, one from a gentleman in the UK from an organization called Cortext, which has been, his organization, a technology organization, has been working with some collective management organizations to help them develop systems so that content can be linked together with the license or the rights. So digital content and rights together, to make interfacing with the content easier and more seamless for students and faculty members. We also will have a talk from one of our member organizations in Italy, Piero Antanasio, who from the AIE, which is a publishers organization in Italy, will be talking about the relations between the academic institutions and publishers, and the work that has been done to improve those relations over time. So some very important lessons there. And then we're very honored to have the chair of the OSDEL board and my colleague here at the table today, Αντώνης Καρατζάς, who has been generous enough to host this very meeting, who will be sharing views from the lessons learned so far in the efforts to form academic licensing vehicles and tools and licenses here in Greece. And we're really looking forward to that. The third and final component of the day, the third track. So we have the overview from the World Intellectual Property Organization, technology, education, licensing and technology, and finally news and journalism, with two really exciting speakers. One, Johanna Vecco, is an expert in long-form journalism. This would be something I think everybody in this room would be very interested in hearing. Johanna has spoken all around the world about the importance of investing in our journalists and their publishers to protect long-form journalism, which I think everyone can probably recognize is at quite some risk in today's environment. Johanna has spoken at a wide variety of organizations, including Columbia University, for example, and she will be sharing with us some very important lessons around technology and machine learning with regard to robots writing the news. So do we need journalists anymore, or should robots write the news? This is a very controversial question, and I'm sure, as many of you are familiar, today there is already a lot of proliferation of news, frequency of news that is generated by machines instead of people. And I think that there's a lot of risk associated with that, and Johanna will be talking to us about those risks. Following that, we have Sofia Karakeva, who is a marketing executive at Data Scouting and also the vice president of FEBIP, which is a federation of press organizations. And she will be speaking with us also about a subject that's very relevant today, very sadly relevant, and that is hate speech in the news and the impact of hate speech in the news. Now, you might think that these are, well, what does this have to do with copyright? It has a lot to do with copyright. And actually, I think with the rise of fake news, I come from the country of fake news. With the rise of fake news, we can draw a correlation between the increase in fake news and the writing down of copyright by some of the world's largest tech companies like Facebook, Google, Twitter, etc. So the authentic news that you, in fact, are writing and publishing is the news that we need to protect and the news that we need to encourage more of. And so that's the way we'll close the program at the conference tomorrow. I did want to add that our program does include in every one of the tracks an opportunity for questions and answers, and we would be more than happy, I'd be more than happy to provide you with an agenda. I could also email that to you if you wanted to get any of these names, as I didn't maybe pronounce them as well as I could have. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Tracey. We're looking very much forward to attend this very interesting conference. Now, Sandra Chastanet is the CEO of the French organization, collective management organization, and member of the board of IFRRO. Would you like to explore a little bit more about the role of collective management in the licensing of educational publications, and to what extent the educational publishers depend actually on the licenses from academic institutions, and what is the situation in your country or in the rest of Europe regarding academic licensing?
Yes, thank you, George. So I will speak about licensing, which is a core business of IFRROs and which is of interest for rights holders. The first area I will cover is education, because there is a lot of use of protected works in education. A lot of countries have set licensing system to allow teachers and pupils to access these works, to reproduce them in analog or digital way. And it produces a lot of income for publishers and authors. So I will talk more precisely about a campaign that was launched by IFRRO and its partners, organizations representing rights holders. You are aware that the EU directive on copyright in the digital single market provide for an Article 4, which forecasts a mandatory exception for illustration for teaching. And this exception could actually harm the existing licensing system, and it could also harm the revenue that the publisher and the authors get from those use in education. Just to give you an example, reproduction in education, for example, in France, it represents the equivalent of 2 million books per year. So it is a lot, and it can have a substitution effect to the primary market. So to raise awareness around this issue to the European institution, IFRRO launched this campaign, which is Content for Education. So what is the objective of this campaign? It is to alert the European institution and the member states when they will implement the directive that there is a whole knowledge, circle of knowledge actually. And what could be the impact of an unlimited and unremunerated exception in Europe. We recently had a conference with the participation of John Deegan, who is the director of the Authors Union in Canada. And in Canada, they had this kind of exception, which was voted in 2012. And it introduced a wide exception without remuneration for authors and publishers. And we now have the consequences of this. And he just testified about what was the effect. And for the authors, for example, they had a decrease in their global revenue of 30%. And for our sister organization in Canada, who was collecting royalties from the education sector, it has been a drop of 78% in collection. So we know that it has an impact, a direct impact on licensing revenue, on sales. So it has an impact on the income of authors, on the investment of publishers, which they won't be able to make anymore. So there will be an impact on the availability of books, and in the end, there will be an impact on the books available for the pupils and the teacher. And just to finish on this issue, I think what are the broader impact for society? It is a question of preserving local production of content, which is important. We think that every country should be able to produce its own content to reflect cultural diversity. So it is also a matter of training the future generation. So it is a question of innovation in a member state. And finally, it is a question of democracy, because we want to have diversity in the creative sector. So we need to protect those who are creating this. And of course, IFRROs have a central role in this, because they are giving access and they are collecting money for rights holders. And what we wanted to say to the European institution is that we need a balanced copyright to give access to the education sector, and in the same way to protect the creation in Europe. So I think this is a stake around licensing in education and with regard to the European directive. And if you want, there is some leaflet on this, and we can give it to you to have more details on what it is in this directive.
Sandra is also an expert on licensing of press clipping and media monitoring organizations and companies regarding the use of press clippings. So what is the situation with press clippings? And actually, news material, is copyright protected? Is licensed or not in the rest of Europe?
Yes, of course, news are protected works. And it is, I think, the second area of licensing, which a lot of IFRROs are actually actively licensing. To authorize, actually, news are used a lot in the business sector. They are used by media monitoring organizations. They are also used by companies to inform their employees. And there has been a need to set collective management of those use, because media monitoring as well as companies don't want to get the authorization individually from each publishers. So there is collective licensing schemes. There is in France, there is in UK, there is in a lot of countries, in Greece as well. I know you have made a lot of progress in this. So yes, it is an important sector. And as Tracey said, because it is also a subject of tomorrow's conference, news need to be protected and journalism needs to be encouraged. So it is also important to have licensing system in this area to generate revenue for the use of those content.
Thank you. So let's come now to the situation in Greece. So θα ήθελα να παρακαλέσω τον κύριο Καρατζά να μας πει ποια είναι η κατάσταση στην Ελλάδα, κυρίως στον ακαδημαϊκό χώρο.
Ευχαριστώ κύριε Ζάνο. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to all IFRRO members and the board of IFRRO, who chose Greece to host this annual conference in 2018. I welcome you on behalf of OSDEL, and I wish you a fruitful and productive conference. I will continue in Greek. Καλησπέρα σε όλους. Σας ευχαριστώ που ήρθατε. Οι οργανισμοί συλλογικής διαχείρισης, γενικότερα όχι μόνο στην Ελλάδα αλλά και στον κόσμο ολόκληρο, είναι μη κερδοσκοπικοί οργανισμοί, είναι συνεταιρισμοί εκδοτών και συγγραφέων που στην καλύτερη περίπτωση αυτές οι δύο οντότητες είναι μαζί και εργάζονται μαζί προκειμένου να συλλέξουν πνευματικά δικαιώματα τα οποία δεν μπορούν εκ του νόμου να συλλέξουν, να πάρουν οι ίδιοι οι δημιουργοί ή οι εκδότες. Στηρίζονται στον νόμο και κάθε πολιτισμένη χώρα σε αυτόν τον κόσμο έχει από έναν οργανισμό συλλογικής διαχείρισης ο οποίος επιτελεί ένα τεράστιο ρόλο στα γράμματα και στον πολιτισμό κάθε χώρας. Στην Ελλάδα ο μεγαλύτερος οργανισμός συλλογικής διαχείρισης είναι ο ΟΣΔΕΛ, ο Οργανισμός Συλλογικής Διαχείρισης Έργων Λόγου. Εκπροσωπεί πάνω από 7.500 δημιουργούς, συγγραφείς, μεταφραστές, δημοσιογράφους και πάνω από 700 εκδότες, δηλαδή σχεδόν όλο τον πολιτισμό της χώρας. Είναι πολύ σημαντικό να το ξέρουμε αυτό. Ο ΟΣΔΕΛ εισπράττει εκ του νόμου κάποια χρήματα τα οποία διανέμει πίσω στους μεριδιούχους του που είναι οι συγγραφείς και οι εκδότες. Επιτελεί λοιπόν ένα πάρα πολύ σημαντικό έργο. Ως οργανισμός έχουμε αντιμετωπίσει τεράστιες δυσκολίες στη συνεννόηση τόσο με τα εκπαιδευτικά ιδρύματα όσο και με τις βιβλιοθήκες, την πολιτεία εν γέννη. Ενώ θεωρητικά αναγνωρίζεται το δικαίωμα των δημιουργών και εκδοτών να αμείβονται για την αναπαραγωγή των έργων τους, ωστόσο μέχρι σήμερα τα δημόσια πανεπιστήμια, οι ακαδημαϊκές βιβλιοθήκες και άλλα νομικά πρόσωπα δημοσίου δικαίου, σας αναφέρω ένα παράδειγμα, ο Δικηγορικός Σύλλογος Αθηνών, παραδείγματος χάρη, ο Συμβολογραφικός Σύλλογος Αθηνών, αρνούνται να συνάψουν συμβάσεις με τον ΟΣΔΕΛ που εκπροσωπεί το σύνολο των δικαιούχων δημιουργών και εκδοτών στην Ελλάδα. Στο δε χώρο της εκπαίδευσης, η αναπαραγωγή είναι για τους οργανισμούς συλλογικής διαχείρισης διεθνώς η κύρια πηγή εισοδήματος, η οποία, όπως σας είπα προηγουμένως, επιστρέφει πίσω στους δημιουργούς και τους εκδότες. Στο χώρο μας και στα διάφορα φόρα ανά τον κόσμο, αυτό το οποίο περιέγραψε η Σάντρα προηγουμένως για τον Καναδά ονομάζεται Canadian flu, γρίπη, καναδική γρίπη. Γιατί αυτά τα νούμερα που σας έδωσε προηγουμένως, 78% απώλεια εσόδων στην συλλογή πνευματικών δικαιωμάτων στον Καναδά και 30% διεθνώς από καναδικές επιχειρήσεις, οδήγησε στην ουσία τις μεγαλύτερες καναδικές εκδοτικές επιχειρήσεις σε πτώχευση. Και επειδή ο Καναδάς είναι μια σοβαρή χώρα, το impact assessment αυτών των μέτρων για την συλλογή των πνευματικών δικαιωμάτων παίρνει χρόνο και μόλις τώρα αντιλαμβάνονται ότι μπορούν να πάρουν κάποια μέτρα όταν ήδη έχει γίνει πολύ μεγάλη ζημιά. Έχει τεράστια λοιπόν σημασία να καταλάβουμε όλοι, είτε στον χώρο της εκπαίδευσης, είτε σε άλλους χώρους, ότι η αναπαραγωγή είτε πρόκειται για δημόσιο πανεπιστήμιο, είτε πρόκειται για δημόσια βιβλιοθήκη, είτε πρόκειται για ένα οποιοδήποτε νομικό πρόσωπο δημοσίου δικαίου. Πρέπει να γίνει προς όφελος του πολίτη, προς όφελος της κοινωνίας, αλλά με μια εύλογη αποζημίωση αυτών των ανθρώπων που κόπιασαν για να συγγράψουν αυτό το υλικό. Όσον αφορά στο ρόλο του ΟΣΔΕΛ, όπως αντιλαμβάνεστε, σε μια αγορά που αποτελείται κυρίως από μικρομεσαίους εκδότες, η εξέλιξη του ΟΣΔΕΛ ως παρόχου περιεχομένου και όχι μόνο αδειοδότησης για την κάλυψη των συμπληρωματικών αναγκών των εκπαιδευτικών ιδρυμάτων σε εκπαιδευτικό υλικό είναι πιο αναγκαία από ποτέ, διότι οι μικρομεσαίες εκδοτικές επιχειρήσεις δεν έχουν τις δυνάμεις να φτιάξουν πλατφόρμες, να τις λειτουργήσουν αυτές τις πλατφόρμες προκειμένου να διανύμουν αυτό το περιεχόμενο στα ακαδημαϊκά εκπαιδευτικά ιδρύματα. Έχουμε άλλωστε ως ΟΣΔΕΛ ένα πάρα πολύ επιτυχημένο μοντέλο τέτοιας συνεργασίας στο Ελεύθερο Ανοιχτό Πανεπιστήμιο και στο Ανοιχτό Πανεπιστήμιο της Κύπρου, όπου οι καθηγητές και τα διάφορα τμήματα του Πανεπιστημίου επιλέγουν ποια αποσπάσματα, από ποια βιβλία θέλουν να βάλουν στο curriculum κάθε μαθήματος, αδειοδοτούνται για αυτά και οι εκδότες οι οποίοι μας έχουν δώσει την δυνατότητα να αδειοδοτούμε αυτό το περιεχόμενο λαμβάνουν την επόμενη ακαδημαϊκή χρονιά ή προς το τέλος της του ακαδημαϊκού εξαμήνου μάλλον, λαμβάνουν μία αποζημίωση η οποία είναι αντίστοιχη της αποζημίωσης που λαμβάνει ο Έλληνας εκδότης από τον εύδοξο, από το πανεπιστημιακό σύστημα, μείον ένα πολύ μικρό ποσοστό, αν δεν απατώμε 20%, για την διαχείριση όλης αυτής της κατάστασης που κρατάει ο ΟΣΔΕΛ για να μπορεί να κάνει αυτή τη δουλειά. Κοιτάξτε λοιπόν πόσο επιτυχημένο είναι αυτό το μοντέλο. Οι φοιτητές λαμβάνουν το υλικό το οποίο τους υποδεικνύεται από τους διδάσκοντες. Οι διδάσκοντες επιλέγουν τα αποσπάσματα εκείνα από τα βιβλία εκείνα που νομίζουν ότι είναι τα καταλληλότερα για το μάθημά τους. Οι εκδότες λαμβάνουν αποζημίωση, οι συγγραφείς λαμβάνουν αποζημίωση. Άρα λοιπόν είναι όλοι κερδισμένοι. Όπως αντιλαμβάνεστε, στην σύγχρονη εποχή το πρόβλημα της παραβίασης των πνευματικών δικαιωμάτων εντείνεται, ιδίως στην Ελλάδα, στα χρόνια της κρίσης. Έχει πάρει διαστάσεις οι οποίες ελπίζουμε ότι θα γυρίσουν σε μια πιο νόμιμη μορφή. Η πλατφόρμα, παραδείγματος χάρη, η διαπανεπιστημιακή e-class, η οποία καλώς υπάρχει, όπως υπάρχει, προσφέρεται από το ακαδημαϊκό διαδίκτυο GUNet, το οποίο είναι μια αστική μη κερδοσκοπική εταιρεία, έτσι, δεν βγάζει χρήματα η πολιτεία από αυτό, στο οποίο συμμετέχουν 20 ανώτατα εκπαιδευτικά ιδρύματα και 16 ΤΕΙ, χωρίς κανόνες, χωρίς όρια, χωρίς έλεγχο, ανεβάζει όποιο περιεχόμενο κρίνει ότι είναι πρόσφορο για τις διδακτικές ανάγκες των φοιτητών. Αντιλαμβάνεστε ότι αυτό είναι ένα τεράστιο πρόβλημα τόσο για τους εκδότες, οι οποίοι εκδότες είναι στην συντριπτική τους πλειοψηφία μικρομεσαίες επιχειρήσεις μέχρι 10 άτομα, και βεβαίως για τους εκατοντάδες, για να μην πω χιλιάδες, ακαδημαϊκούς συγγραφείς, οι οποίοι προσδοκούν να έχουν μια εύλογη αποζημίωση για αυτό το πνευματικό κόπο. Ο ΟΣΔΕΛ, τελειώνοντας, έχει την τεχνική δυνατότητα όχι μόνο να αδειοδοτήσει, αλλά και να μπορεί να διανύμει αυτό το περιεχόμενο στα πανεπιστημιακά ιδρύματα και σε όλους αυτούς τους φορείς που χρειάζονται και αυτό το περιεχόμενο και θέλουν την αδειοδότηση και το ίδιο το περιεχόμενο. Είναι υποχρέωσή μας να ενημερώσουμε τον εκδοτικό κόσμο ότι υπάρχουν λύσεις οι οποίες είναι προς όφελος όλων και βεβαίως και των ίδιων. Σας ευχαριστώ πολύ.
Κλείνοντας, τον επόμενο ομιλητή δεν νομίζω ότι χρειάζεται να σας τον συστήσω, τον Αναστάση τον Βιστωνίτη. Είναι όμως και ο αντιπρόεδρος του Οργανισμού Συλλογικής Διαχείρισης Έργων του Λόγου, του ΟΣΔΕΛ, και θα τον καλέσω να μας πει δύο κουβέντες από την πλευρά του συγγραφέα, ποιητή και δημοσιογράφου, και ίσως να μας πει δύο λόγια για το δημόσιο δανεισμό, που επίσης είναι ένα ανοιχτό θέμα στη χώρα μας.
Θα μιλήσω αγγλικά. First of all, I would like to thank IFRRO and the people who are here in this panel with us. This IFRRO AGM has a special significance. Allow me to be a bit personal. It has a special significance for all of us, and especially for me and Jorg Andreas here, because we were among the three crazy ones who started OSDEL 21 years ago. Of course, we went through many discrepancies, difficulties, and so on, until we were able to make it. But we had a law which was implemented in 1993, which at the time was the best copyright law in Europe. That it was, everybody says that. And the architect of this law was the late Professor George Koumandos, and then that law allowed us to establish the collecting society. Well, we started that with no money and so on, but we had great help from the people of IFRRO. First of all, I would like to mention the director of the Fagevort, Ferdinand Melechar, who was with us from the very beginning. We had many meetings here in Athens, and after that we decided to follow the German law, the German model for our status and the structure of OSDEL. And later we had to have many fights, especially with importers of machines, the photocopying machines and the computers and so on, until we succeeded to collect money. And then, but before that, I took the initiative to call IFRRO to have the annual, their AGM here in order to help us. IFRRO was with us from the very beginning. We had the support of IFRRO for many resolutions when we had to fight with the importers of computers who were trying to abolish the computer level. And they succeeded it, but we had enough time to collect some money, which helped us for the years to come. In the new law, we have the computer level again. But IFRRO got many resolutions and many different AGMs in many countries, and it was a great pressure on the part of especially the European group of IFRRO on us. IFRRO is important for us not just for this, it is our voice in the Commission. It is and so that has nothing to do with that. It is important for us only. It's important for the country itself, for this country, and for the creators and the publishers, of course, journalists, writers, and everybody. So I'm very happy that 10 years later they're coming back again here to give us more support, ethical support, moral support, whatever you call it. So we had to go through many fights. First of all, I would like to say one simple thing. According to the studies we did, and we did a lot of studies, we collect now only 1/10% of the money we're supposed to collect. Because, I mean, licensing in the public universities is something totally strange for some people there. And it is strange and it is absurd, in my opinion, in many ways, because, I mean, professors there are writers too, so they have their rights, which they don't know and they don't care about them. Because at the moment, okay, the money that they take from us, there are very little, because, I mean, we don't collect as much as we're supposed to collect. But I believe that soon that will be changed. We have a new copyright law, which improved the previous one. It has some additives, it has some provisions about the subject that we do care about. And one of them, of course, is the PLR, that is the public lending right. We were fighting, especially, I was fighting for that because I believe that this is very, very important. Because in the society we have two pylons, one is the building and the other is the text. And actually, we build the text in the way we build the building. So this is the fabric of the society. It's nothing which is exclusively concerned with the rights only of writers or the publishers and so on. It is the society itself. It has to do with the picture of the society and the progress that the society should make in order to feel better and to have an optimistic approach for the future. So this is also important. Maybe this is the important thing, especially for me as a writer. This is the main issue. Okay, so we have the copyright, the public lending right, which is in the Greek law since 1992, but it was not put in practice. Implemented in the law, but not in practice. And of course, we had to fight for so many years before we had this new law, and we had terrible fight with librarians, I would say. Because the librarians believe that the book is a thing. And since this is a thing that they are the ones who deal with, it's their property. It's not. It's the content which it consists the property of a book, not the thing itself, not the object. I hope that, for the years to come, I'm not very optimistic, but not pessimistic either. Sooner or later, we're going to have it. Well, how much? I don't know, I cannot say. What is important is just to begin with something. That was my idea. And then if the economy gets improved and so on, because the money for the public lending right should be provided by the government directly. This is what the PLR, the countries where PLR is successful, is where the government itself, has all the obligation to do something about it, to give the money to the libraries, to the writers directly, and not to say, okay, this is the market, what the market says. The market says this, okay. If it says no, it's okay. It's not okay. I'm not going to go on with all this. I think I said a lot. Welcome to Athens again, and thank you for being with us.
So now, concluding, I give the floor to you now. If there are any questions or anything you would like to address to the speakers. Okay, I can answer this. Generally, maybe the major subject of the collective management organizations in the sector of book is education, the licensing of education. And this is one aspect, one area where OSDEL and Greece is very much behind. It has not. We are not in a position that that the academic institutions are licensed for the use of the works that is done within the educational process in all grades, primary, secondary, and third grade academic institution as well. So yes, in the near future, this will be our main priority, to establish licenses first in the academic sector and then in the secondary schools and primary schools as well. But now currently the major revenue of OSDEL is coming from the management of the equipment levies. These are the levies that generate the compensation for the private use of the works. It's another topic, but very shortly, private copying is under the law free. Everybody can copy a work for its private purposes. And as a consideration for this, there is a levy, a remuneration established in the law, which is paid by the importers of the technical means that are used that enable the private copying. So, importers of photocopying machines, scanners, multifunctionals, printers, and since 2017 also computers, mobile phones, and tablets are paying levies. Computers, mobile phones, and tablets are 2% on the import price, and the other photocopy machines, printers, etc. are 4% on. This is at the moment the major revenue of OSDEL, and we also looking forward that the importers of the mobile and PCs start to pay, because until now we have not collected anything from them. So apart from this, the public lending right is another right that we are supposed to manage. It's normally just, there are levy schemes in each country where, as Anastasis told you, the government is giving a remuneration for the lending of books in public libraries. So there is a European directive since 1992 in place where it gives the right to member states to exclude public lending from the exclusive copyright, but instead it provides for remuneration for authors and publishers. This has not been yet established in Greece. The law of 2017 provides that a presidential decree shall be issued which shall set the remuneration of the authors. Although there has been already passed 1 year since the enactment of this law, the presidential decree has not been released yet. We know that preparations have been made, but we hope and expect that within the next period, within the next couple of months, it's going to be in force. And the other area is the press, where we license media monitoring organizations, press clipping agencies, and their clients. So media monitoring organizations copying press material to sell it to their clients. But the clients are also copying this material for distributing internal in their companies to the various departments or to the senior employees. So this copying is not private copying, it's copying for commercial purposes. So it has to be licensed in order to be legal. And in Greece, we have established a scheme to license media monitoring companies and their clients. It started last year, and it actually functions quite well. I mean, all major media companies in Greece, media monitoring companies, have been licensed. And we have also signed more than 700 licenses within 1 year, and we continue. So that these are mainly the major issues, subjects of OSDEL. Okay, if not, then thank you very much.
As Woody Allen said, I am with an answer. Is there anybody with a question? No question. All right.
Ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ για την παρουσία σας.
Ευχαριστούμε.